on to brace for the worst, but no one expected a blaze like this. Flames leaping high into the air, pushed along by 50-knot gusting winds.
I have flame height probably over 100 feet on Warragamba Drive, impacting houses over. If I can get anything...
Constance, this is a rare situation. We need some pumpers here urgently.
Virtually all of Canberra's southwestern suburbs lay in the path of the most severe fire in the territory's history.
Constance, we've lost total visibility.
Despite the best efforts of firefighters, little could be done, the ferocious blaze consuming everything in its path. Having laid waste to bushland and pine plantations south of the city, houses were now in its sights.
We've got houses alight everywhere, and we really need some more structural protection.
Residents and local wildlife evacuated the area, the intensity of the flames soon forcing firefighters to retreat. Dozens of homes in the southern suburbs of Duffy and Girrawong have already been confirmed lost, the ACT's Chief Minister declaring a state of emergency.
The ACT is facing its most severe test in the face of very significant fires, the most severe test in the history of the ACT, through a combination of circumstances, the heat, the drought, and the fact we've had these fires raging now for over a week.
The Ericsson air cranes, so often the saviour, made almost useless by the intense smoke.
Most of the helicopters are in fact on the ground. They can't fly under these conditions.
Reinforcements are heading to Canberra, but there's little good news in sight. Temperatures predicted to again top 30 degrees tomorrow, with a wind change placing homes to the south and northwest of the national capital in the path of the blaze.
The extent of the fire at the moment is far beyond the capacity of the resources we've got here, and we've pulled right back to providing protection to assets only.
And we can now confirm for you that one man has been killed in Canberra during the bushfires. It's believed the man died from smoke inhalation. He was a resident of the suburb of Duffy. And Rachel Stevens from strong winds have also whipped up a new bushfire threat in Sydney. One house caught alight, but firefighters and residents were able to save it from burning down. Crews say they are now on top of this fire, but there were fears that homes would be lost.
Fanned by hot winds, a 200-metre fire front advanced towards hundreds of properties bordering the Garigal National Park. In Pambula Place, Yalumba Close and Lady Davidson Circuit, residents rushed to protect their homes.
There was a wall of flames here. It was quite concerning and the roar was quite intense.
Many scrambled to take a few precious belongings.
I think it's better to leave than to stay at this point, but hopefully the winds change now and we'll be okay.
The headquarters of the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service came perilously close to being lost. Firefighters battling against ever-strengthening winds. Water-bombing helicopters emptied several swimming pools across the suburb, attacking the flames from the air.
We haven't been able to do direct attack on this fire, too dangerous to put fire crews into the fire front.
Backburning operations were started to head off the front. At one stage, this one threatened to get out of hand. Late this afternoon, firefighters contained the front, assisted by a southerly change. Only one home was damaged.
In the New South Wales snowfields, bushfires have forced the evacuation of hundreds of people. Only permanent residents have been allowed to remain in Thredbo and Jindabyne to help fight the fires. Almost the entire population of several smaller towns have also been told to flee.
Fires aren't common in these parts, but once every 20 years, lightning strikes and the bush burns. Searing heat, close to 40 degrees, has dried the snow, the ground and the trees, fueling ferocious fires.
At the moment, the snow-making machines have all been turned on. Water is being pumped into areas it can be.
In Jindabyne, the popular tourist resort, more than 1,000 were evacuated throughout the night and today. Locals, though, will hold their ground and fight.
We stay to protect our property and do what we can.
And yesterday and today, you see what it is like. You know, you hardly can breathe.
The mountainous terrain and thick smoke are making it virtually impossible for firefighters to make any headway.
These fires have been described as some of the severest fires in the region for many, many years. Matter of fact, we're talking to people who haven't seen fire behaviour like this since 1939.
Towards Canberra, in the small, isolated communities such as Anglers Reach, they are bracing for the worst.
We've been coming here 15, 20 years, and this is the only time we've had the fire so close.
It's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon in this holiday destination and almost completely dark. And firefighters say it, along with other communities around Canberra, will be threatened in the coming days.
Crews are in fact laying foam down on a number of the properties to protect them from ember attack.
In Victoria, the bushfire threat has escalated dramatically in the past 24 hours, with several large outbreaks set to merge into one massive blaze. Residents in and around the towns of Bright, Popanga and Harrietville are now on high alert as the fires in the Victorian Alps break their control lines.
Now into its 11th day, the Alpine Inferno took a turn for the worse overnight. More than doubling in size, it now spreads across 25,000 hectares of rugged terrain in the state's northeast, strong winds and high temperatures providing the ingredients weary firefighters feared most.
Well, last night we had severe fire behaviour that increased our fire size from 11,000 hectares to over 25,000 hectares.
The ski resorts of Mount Hotham, Falls Creek and Mount Buffalo and Dinner Plain have all been evacuated. Buffalo continues to burn. Last night it was engulfed in flames, amazed locals likening it to a volcano erupting.
Big ball of fire and flames, and it's close to the chalet.
It was just going right across the top of the mountain and you could see the bright light as it was spotting.
This exhausted strike team was trapped on the mountain as they tried to save the chalet and rangers residents.
It came quite close. There was a mineral earthquake put around it with a bulldozer, so that was protected.
So far, no lives or property have been lost as almost 2,000 firefighters battle at the front line.
When you're dealing with a strong force of nature, you actually got to shepherd it into a location where you can minimise the damage and where it's going.
Exhausted fire crews are hoping lower temperatures and lighter winds tomorrow will bring some respite, but it will be short-lived, with the mercury expected to soar back towards 40 degrees on Monday and no end to the fires in sight.
Now to check the all-important weather